So, what do you get when you cross a little
You got the touch. You got the
Arise, Rodimus Prime.
with some of this?
Beast Wars!
Welcome back, guys, and in my case, when you mix a little bit of Transformers G1 Hot Rod with a little bit of Beast Wars, this is what you end up with. So the first thing I want to talk about is I absolutely love Transformers. I actually grew up in the Beast Wars era, and I actually ended up becoming a biologist, so this is something that I've always loved. I never had much of a connection as a kid to the G1 era of Transformers. However, I have since developed quite a appreciation for them, and obviously without the G1, the original Transformer franchise, I wouldn't have had Beast Wars to grow up with, which is what I really connected with and what I still really connect with. One of the things that I've done in my customizing is I've taken a lot of more recent, highly articulated Transformers figures and kind of copied or followed the process of the BotCon 2006 set, which kind of gave the Beast Wars cast their pre-Earth forms, which of course wouldn't have been Earth furry and scaly animals like they ended up with in the show. And I've done a lot of customs. I do hope to eventually get those uploaded to YouTube. I'm still working on a lot of those. However, this is kind of the opposite direction as that. So I've kind of taken a G1 Transformer Hot Rod and taken the direction of the Power of the Primes Rodimus Prime collector's card for the Onyx Prime, which you can see here, and kind of given him his Phoenix form. Now, of course, the form that I've given him here is Tigerhawk from Transformers Beast Wars. It's an old 90s figure. I have a couple of them. I've got many bins of Transformers spare parts to customize, and one of them was a mostly complete Tigerhawk figure. So what I've decided to do was use that as his base, and I have a couple of extra heads from those Rodimus Primes from Power of the Primes that I bought for a different custom. And so I decided to use one of those heads, and as you can see from the comparison shots, they're relatively the same between the Tigerhawk head and the Hot Rodimus or Rodimus Prime head, and therefore I think it worked out pretty well. Now, the actual Onyx Prime lore, I know some people are fans of it, and some people are not fans of that. Basically, there are 12 or 13 primes depending upon how you look at it, and each of those primes have influenced the trajectory of the Transformers universe. In Onyx Prime's case, he is the prime of beasts, so any of the Transformers that have beast forms can thank him for that. So I guess Beast Wars is kind of retroactively owed to Onyx Prime if you follow that set of the lore. And anyway, if Hot Rod was influenced by Onyx Prime, apparently he would develop into a Phoenix. So that's kind of the direction I've taken. I tried to keep his red and yellow color scheme intact, which again I think works really well with the Phoenix. However, in this case, you can tell that I've added a little bit of orange kind of to indicate a fire, so kind of going from red to orange to yellow throughout the figure. For the actual process of painting him, I tried to keep it relatively straightforward, so I used airbrushing to blend the red and the orange and the yellow, and again I think that worked out well for flame, so I didn't have to do any masking off or anything like that in this particular project. And then for the claws, the Maximal logo, and the teeth, I did some silver. I also made the new staff weapon for him. Again, the actual spoiler is from one of those Rodimus Prime sets that I am using on a different custom that no longer needed those fins. And then I just added on a little wooden skewer to it, sculpted the back to actually connect to the wooden skewer, and then painted the whole thing. I had thought about making it look a little bit more like an edged weapon, like maybe adding some chrome silver or something like that on the staff itself, but I decided I kind of wanted to go with more of a peaceful look, I guess, kind of more of a sage. Again, he's supposed to be a prime here, and so maybe rather than becoming the Rodimus Prime that we saw in Transformers the movie, maybe in Beast Wars he would have taken over for either Optimus Prime or Optimus Primal had the original lore taken place where we had the original Optimus Prime and the original Megatron become their beast versions, and this might be the Rodimus Primal, the prime version of Rodimus in this Beast Wars universe that never happened. And with that, I would just like to say thank you very much for watching the video. If you have any suggestions for future customs or any comments, please feel free to leave those below. I've also been trying to post some of my older customs on Twitter just because it takes less time to run them through the photo booth than it does to shoot a whole video for them. Other than that, if you need to contact me, Twitter or comments here, and I'm also trying to start a Facebook for JC's Customs, and I greatly appreciate your time. Thank you.